And they're
Again, it's one of those.
It is. They're lightweight, but yet they're really pretty strong. Okay, so back to the Stamp and Stencil It. So
now
this is
with the archival ink, you need to use alcohol to remove off your stamp system too.
no, you don't want to use alcohol and rubber because that'll dry it out. I just use a cloth, wipe it off.
And it'll come off.
Good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. Yeah, it's going to be
So
stained.
it's not going to come off on your next project.
Like if I just use jet black archival and I know I'm going to switch to like dandelion, I'll make sure I kind of really scrub it off on a towel, on a cloth towel, because otherwise black and yellow are going to make green. So, otherwise.
So you just use a baby wipe on?
Tim and I just use these cloth towels. Okay, so I'll just stamp my little marigold on here. So my idea for this was, if you stamp this image and you don't have Tim's markers, you only have like the distress pads or the archival pads, how can you color this? So even with the little mini blending tool, that's not going to work. So I'm thinking there's got to be a way to do this. And when I figured it out, I'm like, hello, this took me so long. So now I have a stencil that fits perfectly with the stamp. So I'll show you how it works. So if you look at this, it's called Stamp and Stencil, so the first thing you want to do is stamp. And then after that, you're going to stencil. So the stencil will line up perfectly with the stamped image. So if you can see, the background's going to be protected. The ink is only going to go in that open area. So I can go right over the flower. I don't have to worry about, I can just quickly ink it, and there's my leaves done.
And you don't have to cut out a mouse.
Right, exactly. And these, exactly. And these are going to last because they're plastic. They're not like something you did, cut out of a scrawny little piece of paper or something. Okay, and same thing with the flower. This is going to fit right over my stamped image. And I can just ink right over it. I don't have to worry about the leaf area. If you want to add some shading, you can do that still. You can make it a little bit darker on one side. And there's my image done. So this is actually like the opposite of what you normally do, right? Because normally you start with the background and then you kind of build up on top of it. Now my main image is done already, right? And because I used archival ink, it's permanent and waterproof. So now I can do my background with distress and go right over this and nothing happens to it. So it's just kind of the opposite way of doing it, but it's really fun because sometimes you make a background and you think, oh, I don't want that dark spot there, I wish it was over here. Now you can put it exactly where you want it because your image is done. So I like that. So now for cleaning this off, if I run this underwater, nothing happens because it's a waterproof ink. So cheap, if you're a store owner, get rubbing alcohol in a big bottle and paper towels, and that's all you need to clean it. And I like to put the stencil on a paper towel because that kind of cleans both sides at one time. I'm ready to go, and I'll just use this until it's done. Put my stencil back in my stencil binder.
So can you paint with your inks? Like put them on the craft sheet and then pick them up and put them down and be able to do that? Yes,
you can. What I have done with those is Tim's detail water brush. Instead of filling it with water, you can fill it with rubbing alcohol. Yep. So I like to emboss the image with, if I'm going to do that, because that kind of helps you control, keep it contained. So I'll just put some ink on my craft sheet, use the detail water brush with alcohol in it, and then you can go ahead and paint in your areas. It's fun. It's fun. And people don't expect that. You cannot put alcohol blending solution in there. It eats the pen. Yeah, he tried it and he said, this is so cool. It was really cool. And then he said one day, he's like, don't do it, because I picked it up one day and it fell apart. Because the alcohol blending solution ate it. Yeah, but just plain rubbing alcohol is fine. Yeah, and that's fun.